Hey everybody, welcome back to the Football Card Quest. This time of year, everybody is talking about the ultimate draft strategy to win their fantasy football league. We are just 1 month away from the start of the regular NFL season. Training camp is heating up. We had the Hall of Fame game, which we had some interesting sold data on a player named Colin Johnson, a backup a lot of you guys have never maybe heard of. There's definitely a lot of sold volume on eBay after his performance in the Hall of Fame game. So I want to talk to you guys about the ultimate strategy to translate your fantasy football knowledge, your fantasy football draft strategy into winning and making money flipping football cards in the sports card hobby. So let's dig in. Now, when you're in a fantasy football draft, it's all about value of each position based on the parameters of your league. So in a basic format where you only have one quarterback, there's 32 starting quarterbacks in the league. That is deprioritized. It's not as important as having a bell cow running back or a stud wide receiver. So as you can see here, shout out to Underdog Fantasy, how the values are assigned accordingly. But when it comes to winning at the football card hobby, it's all about understanding the value of that player compared to the other players in that same draft class. When you're here in the fantasy football draft, it's all about performance. All you want is fantasy points, and fantasy points are derived from performance. The fantasy football game does not care about the win-loss record of your team or the playoff probability of your team. But here, it's not only performance, but especially when it comes to quarterbacks, guys, it's a lot about the win-loss record of your team, the playoff probability of your team, the power ranking of your team, and the popularity. How many fans does this team have? How liked are they around the country? Those are very important factors to consider when you want to win at the football card hobby. Now, before we get any further in this video, if you're new here, welcome to the Football Card Quest. My name is Andy. We're part of the NoOffSeason.com sports card network. So if you like this content, make sure you subscribe. But if you want it for all other sports, check out the Sports Card Strategy channel or check out NoOffSeason.com. And shout out to today's video sponsor, CGC Card Grading. With bulk submissions as low as $11, they are the perfect grading company for your football card collection. They're crystal clear holders. They now own JSA autograph authentication, so they will authenticate your event signed autograph cards. Check them out today in the description below. Now back to the video. Now to the task on hand. You're here in this draft and you're wondering, how the heck do I take this and translate this into making money off of the sports card hobby to maybe fuel your personal collection? Maybe you want to get some really nice cards, your favorite Hall of Famers or old timers, and you want to have a combination of those guys plus the guys on your favorite teams today and just your favorite players today or players that help you win league championships. How does that translate into that so that you can take some of those cards and flip them for profit? Well, let me show you guys how to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a player on this draft board, and then from there we will discover if they are at a value to buy. Because when it comes to the football card hobby, it's all about understanding which cards to buy and then which price points to buy them at. And a lot of times you just want to get the best value. It's like going to a used car dealership and you're really just concerned about getting from point A to point B. You don't want to overspend on a car just for its brand and for the name recognition. You really want to make sure you're getting the best car that's going to be the most reliable, that's got the best chances of getting you from point A to point B in the best fuel economy and the best time, etc., etc. So when it comes to football card hobby, it's so important to, if you just say CJ Stroud's the best second-year quarterback because of his deep playoff run and because of all the records he set as a rookie, he's on this incredible hot streak. He's got the coaching, he's got the supporting cast, and they've added Stephon Diggs, and Nico Collins is healthy, and this and that, and this and that, Bobby Slowick offense, and all this. But if you have to pay an absolute arm and a leg to buy this card of CJ Stroud, and then maybe you don't get the best card of CJ Stroud, maybe you get one that doesn't have the turbo package and this and that, it doesn't have the heated seats, then are you capable of making a profit on that card? A lot of times the answer is going to be no. And so what we have to do is we have to take the CJ Stroud card and compare it to the other cards of players in that same draft class. Anthony Richardson, we got to compare it to Will Levis, Bryce Young. We got to compare it to Aiden O'Connell. We got to see how far ahead is this card priced compared to those guys, because a lot of times those guys are going to be the ones that you want to buy, because the hope is that if they get hyped up like CJ Stroud got hyped up last year, then they can get somewhere close to that price, and then you can make a profit, because you can't make a profit on a sports card unless there's room for it to go up. So we don't even not only look at this same draft class, but we look at other draft classes around this that have similar print runs, because print runs are a mysterious number in the sports card hobby. So a lot of times we don't know it, but we do know that Panini, the main football card manufacturer, at least right now, keeps print runs fairly the same from year to year over the past 4 years in ultra modern territory. Ultra modern territory is 2020 to modern day, so 2020 to 2024. Before 2020, the print runs were significantly different, okay? And you got to understand that. So you cannot compare a 2020 to 2024 rookie card, even if it's the same exact green velocity or red, white, and blue prism or red sparkle prism or orange laser prism, etc., to a 2019 Kyler Murray, to a 2018 Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, because that is not a fair comparison. The print runs are totally different. The supply in the market is totally different, because think about it, a majority of those cards for Lamar Jackson were opened out of packs, 5-6 years ago, and circulated onto secondary marketplaces like eBay being the largest one. And we're going to talk about some more strategies, but that is very, very key to remember. You cannot compare a 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019 rookie card to a 2020 through 2024 rookie card. You've got to stay in those, those two ranges of the hobby, because those print runs are totally different. All right, so within the football card hobby, I like to consider 3 different tiers of cards, and a really safe bet is to say the base prism, the base photo variation prism with the rookie card logo from any player is their base rookie card. And then from there, the Prism Silver, base photo variation Prism Silver. It's got this rainbow shine, as you can see here on the Stroud. If you're looking at a scanned version, it has a very light metallic color. That Will Levis right there is a scanned card, and so is that Bryce Young. But you can see the other 3 are all used with phone photography or a nice high definition camera. Okay, and that's a silver prism, and that's the base photo variation. Those sell the best. They transact regularly every day. They're demanded at shows. They're demanded on eBay, on COMC.com, which we'll talk about more in a little bit. And this card is going to be very liquid. What we call liquid, it's easy to buy. It's easy to sell. You can get in and out of it. It's like a very popular car. It's like buying a Toyota RAV4 or Toyota 4Runner kind of thing. So it's a great kind of sweet spot. It's got great flexibility. And so what you want to do, if you just go from the top down, you take the top quarterback. So say you're looking at Jalen Hurts, or maybe you're looking at CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud's your top quarterback in terms of performance. Where's his price at ranked to these other guys? As you can see here, he's twice as much as Anthony Richardson, and they both have early first-round draft capital. The Colts also have a good supporting cast and good crew there, but he's heading into more of an ambiguous situation after being injured in his rookie year. So you could see he's at half of that. Now, if we look and we see, okay, well, Bryce Young had an abysmal rookie season, but he had this and go wrong, the O-line, the coaching, the supporting cast, and everything. And a lot of that's been upgraded this year. And he gets my guy, Dave Canales, from Tampa Bay. So there's actually promise there, and he's the number 1 overall draft pick from last year. So we know those guys from history have never panned out to just be absolutely awful, and they always get a long leash, right? Because the team invested so much in them, they get to start pretty much their entire rookie contract to see what they're made of. The team really wants to know, so they're going to give them the most amount of opportunities compared to a guy like Will Levis taken in the 3rd round that is not going to get as many opportunities, right? A backup or a veteran quarterback could easily come in and supplant him a lot quicker. quicker than they could Bryce. So, as we can see, Will Levis is tied with Bryce Young, and Aiden O'Connell is a half of those guys. And Aiden O'Connell is in a starting battle against Gardner Minshew. So there's ambiguity there on whether or not he's even going to start. And right now it's very neck and neck throughout training camp. Some guys are leaning Minshew. Some guys are leading Aiden O'Connell. Neither one of them have been great. There's been mistakes by each of them. So you got to understand that if you bought Aiden O'Connell, you have the highest amount of upside, amount of potential to make money, because he could easily go to 250, 300 on that Silver Prism PSA 10 value here as you're looking at the trends. But at the same time, you have to consider the probability of him getting the starting job and him being the starter. And you have to bake that into your bet that you make here. So the chances are not as high that Aiden O'Connell is going to start, whereas we know Will Levis is going to start, we know Bryce is going to start, and we know Anthony Richardson is going to start. Out of these 5 picks, I would say go now. The thing we do is we start pulling in draft classes around these guys to see what some other guys in similar situations of hype are at. Now, the third tier, the top tier rookie card that I consider doing this with, if you've got a higher bankroll or overall budget to play with. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is not financial advice. You have to use entertainment style budget and money just like you would with fantasy football or any other type of betting or gambling venture. With that being said, I would look at the rookie ticket autos or just the rookie auto range, but from premium sets like Contenders Optic or Base Contenders, rookie ticket autos or Silver Prism autos, Optic on-card autos, Flawless rookie autos, National Treasures rookie autos, and Immaculate rookie autos. You can also look at sets like Limited and Spectra and Obsidian as well. Those are all great, nice, thick, quality cards. And a lot of those are picking up in popularity. But an easy one to use as a comparison is the rookie ticket auto. Because however, these cards are really more like short print inserts within the greater Contender set. They go back a long time. They're very popular and well recognized. And you can get some good sold data on these cards typically. So as we see here, like a Tua Tagovailoa rookie card selling for $530. Compared to an Anthony Richardson at $775, which is from a much newer set, so we would think the prices would be even higher. $775, so very solid price on a base Contenders rookie ticket auto, Anthony Richardson. You would then think that the Silver Prism variants would be even greater, so you can kind of use this formula to compare between the rookie ticket auto tier or the rare serial numbered, because I think rare serial numbered cards also fit into that rookie auto tier. And a lot of times, guys, when you start doing this comparison process, it comes down to the best play being the card of the player that has similar upside to the others that you can get at the best price. And that's the whole point I've been trying to get at this entire video, is when you pick a player and you think a guy's got upside because you say, well, he's a sleeper in fantasy, he's a value in fantasy, you can get him in round 10, but he's going to produce round 5 returns in terms of performance and production. Go and look at what team he's playing for. Go and compare those 3 cards, that base prism, the silver prism, and the rookie ticket auto, against other guys in his draft class to see where he stands amongst the draft class, and bring in those other guys in similar draft classes as well to see if he's at value compared to them. And then ultimately buy the cheapest one, buy the one that's at the best value that has similar upside. Like, right, Aiden O'Connell has a high upside, but his probability of hitting is lower than Will Levis and Bryce Young just because he does not have a starting job yet. So ultimately, I would be comparing Aiden O'Connell to more like a guy like Sam Darnold, even though it's 2018 to 2023. I wouldn't be comparing those prices. I'd still be comparing amongst the draft class, but I'd be looking at that type of like those guys have similar upside, you know. in terms of where their price is starting at compared to where it could go. And then I go and look at Sam Darnold and say, how much cheaper is he than Baker Mayfield? Is he cheaper than, obviously he's cheaper than Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, but where do those four guys stand up from the 2018 draft class? And then do that comparison to see what kind of upside. Obviously, it's going to take a ton of wins and playoff and championship appearances to get to that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson tier, but Could Sam Darnold get up to a Baker Mayfield plus type tier? I think he could. Tampa Bay has a small market. The Vikings have a much larger one. So that's some more examples. And ultimately, you're looking to make the best deal and understand that the younger the player is, the more the prices could go up on the smaller of the performance or sample size of wins, etc. So, for example, Will Levis could start off the season 2-0, and that would cause a higher price spike in his rookie cards than if Sam Darnold started off the season 2-0 or Baker Mayfield started off 2-0, just because Will Levis is heading to his second year and those guys are heading into their 6th, 7th season. So that also plays a big factor, because a lot of what drives the hobby is what could be, and people hate to miss out on the next Patrick Mahomes, the next Tom Brady, that guy that comes from the later rounds, and next Brock Purdy is a more recent example. And that happens with running backs, wide receivers, that happens all down the board. So if you're taking your draft board, just go down the board. And so you're looking at Bijan, where does he compare to Jahmyr Gibbs? And then also bring in some guys in draft class around him. But remember, stick with those parameters. You can't compare him to Christian McCaffrey. You can't compare him to Saquon Barkley. You can compare him to Jonathan Taylor, Devon Achane. You can't compare him to Derrick Henry. Those guys are pre-2020. The print runs are going to be totally different. The reason why Derrick Henry's rookie auto cards are still over $100 is because of the scarcity from 2016 compared to the scarcity or lack thereof from 2020. The same thing applies to the Prism Silver and that base Prism. All right, now if you're new to the football card hobby, I know I just gave you a lot to chew on, so we're going to stop the video here. Let me know what questions this brings up for you in the comment section below. Make sure you subscribe and tune in for more. We're live every Tuesday around lunchtime with my man Carter the Power, going over the latest NFL rumors, takes, hot takes, and how that translates to the football card hobby. We also cover a ton of a variety of other topics as well. And I'm looking to get back together with my man Steve, the Hitman Caladesi, the eBay Hitman, and get some live streams spun up later in the week when we can, when our schedules can match up. But if not, we'll definitely continue to build up into the season a month from now. Let's go. I'll see you guys in that next video. Peace.